Hey guys, welcome back to my video. Today I'm going to finish my face. We're going to do some airbrush makeup and some regular powder products. As usual, we're mixing tools and techniques to create the look we want. So I'm just going in now with some Soft Glow airbrush foundation, and I'm going to just even out my complexion. Okay, so I'm just going to apply the foundation so it's nice and even, and I got a nice coat. And like, I sometimes miss the discoloration, because sometimes for my day-to-day it's not super heavy, and it doesn't really stress me out. But like, I'm going to be applying more products. If you've watched my other makeup videos, you know. So I just love showing how you can mix tools and the results you can get, and the fun colors you can do versus just browns or just a nude eye. So it's kind of like adding a twist to that vintage kind of, you know, theme that everyone thinks you have to do. You really can mix your colors and come up with your own looks. Okay, so I'm just going to clean that out. In with my pointed Q-tip and just clean the nozzle of the gun. I've done it so many times in my videos, I don't know if you guys need to see that each time, but as I work, I clean all my equipment. So sorry, I know it's annoying, but it's so essential. It's so essential when you're working with clients, and when you're just working on yourself, it's great practice. So I've just gotten into the habit of just organizing and cleaning everything as I go. So bear with me. This is a much shorter video than normal, so I'm testing this out and doing the voiceover versus talking in the video to see how you guys like it. Comment below if you like the voiceover or if you'd rather have the talking video. I'd love to know, and be sure to click that bell for notifications on my latest videos and subscribe, because I'd love to have you on my channel. Anyway, so I'm going to go in with the eyeshadow colors. I'm mixing Mauve and Longbow, which is a burgundy, a very dark burgundy, and I like to mix either red or pink with it. Now I've mixed the colors together, and normally I do them separate, so that was my mistake. So I'm going to go in with some pink shadow just to go through the crease. I like to do like a bright layer first. See, I forgot. So I'm just realizing that before I started spraying that I mixed them both, because I really wanted to show you this color combo. I think it's really pretty, and it's a great Valentine's idea. So I'm going in with some MAC shadows and just doing a pink through the crease. And that just gives me a little bit of a foundation or base to my shadow look. And then we're going to just do that nice and even. I like to go a little wider on the ends, because that's where I do my cat eyes, and I like to blur it out. I don't like to do perfect lines. It just adds a different twist to it. So I'm taking my stencil and going in with the beautiful pink and burgundy. I'm doing kind of a triangle, almost like a cat eye, and I'm going to go in and blend with shadows later, but I like to just create the definition. It's nice and even, and you can see it's this beautiful kind of magenta color. I'm going to go in and do a black line just as a base for my mascara, for my lash, sorry, not my mascara, but for my lashes. And you know, if you watched my other videos, I like to just make sure there's no gaps, and that's just a great way to do it. And then of course, we'll go back and go over the liner just to make it bigger and even. I like to even out the eyes, and I've really been loving using my close-up mirror to check my eye makeup. It's really helped get like perfect liner and stuff that I just didn't realize that I've never seen. So I recommend that. I'm pretty sure I pull it out in this video, and I pulled it out in my last one, but I'll have to do a video on that as well. Alright, so I'm going in and just kind of blending the darker colors through the crease, just evening that out. And I just, with the gun, if you're new to airbrush or you want to learn about it, there's different positions for the gun trigger, and you want it to be at 1 or 2 when you do the eyes. It's so easy to overspray on the eyes, but if you know how to control your gun and you can rock it back and forth, you can get beautiful ombre effects and shadow effects in like 2 seconds, as you can see I just did. So now I'm going to go in and do the lashes. I always use the Duo white and blue tube glue, and as I've mentioned before, the top of the Duo glue keeps cracking off, and it did it again. And I kept it upright, I cleaned the nozzle. I don't know why this glue keeps breaking the top of the tip, and it's kind of worrisome because you are putting that on your eye and you're wondering like what is in the consistency that it's snapping plastic. So I'm not sure. But anyway, those are some of my really thick lashes. I had a ton of them for the shoots, and then when COVID hit, I had all these lashes, and I'm like, just wear them. Who cares? And I got really used to these big beautiful lashes all the time instead of the little tiny ones for day to day or even just none. So I've been wearing them all the time, like every day. And this routine I'm doing is something I would do for every day as well as camera. For camera, I'd probably layer on my foundation really good so it's flawless. And that just allows me to do less editing in the computer, as well as I got 2 new panel lights for my video, and that really evened out my skin tone for this stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with 2 blushes. I'm gonna go in with a pink, a soft petal pink. These are all MAC blushes. I've had this palette forever. And then I'm gonna go in and do a crease, and I'm using the side of my blush brush. You'll see it in a second, and I'm cutting the crease right where the cheek kind of hollows in. But I like to go nice and high with my brighter colors. I like to blend them in, almost into my shadow, like I don't care, I just love it. So now I'm gonna do a darker crease, but I'm gonna blend up, and then I'm gonna blend it in so it isn't like a stark line. And it just, as you can see, they just kind of blend in. It may look like there's a little too much shadow right now, but just hang in with me. And the blush kind of blends itself out once you do the lip and the eye. It really, really is essential. And as the camera's going super fast, I'm actually really blending with that blush brush and really softly. So I'm gonna go in and apply the lashes. Oops, I dropped it. Sorry guys, it happens. And it's great because these lashes always drop upright. So I pop that in. See, they just give me a nice line for camera. And I just got really used to them. I thought they were really cool. They kind of gave my eyes an animated look. And so I like to have my corners perfect, and then I just leave them alone and let them dry, and then I'll go back in with that liquid liner and just perfect that top line. See, I'm going in and I'm going to blend in that shadow in the airbrush. Sometimes the airbrush is a little stark, and it could be that I'm a little heavy on the petal, or it could be the consistency of the color is just really thick. But either way, I like to just soften everything, and I find that using the brush over top really does that, and then a little shadow. And there's nothing wrong with mixing products. I mean, they work well together. You just have to make sure everything's water-based, and as for powder, it works with anything, oil or water. And I just went in and cleaned my lids a little bit, and it actually created a nice soft pink. But sometimes I would like to have the lid with the shadow over it, and sometimes I like to have more of the base showing. So it's just whatever you feel like. Then I'm going in and just perfecting that line. And just making the cat eye, and the shadow acts to be like a second cat eye, so it just all blends in and adds a little extra without having to do a heavy black line. For me, that's not a heavy black line. Like when you have to draw over your whole lid, that's a heavy black line. So I just use the shadow in place of that, so it's less work. And this eye look takes like maybe 5 minutes. It really is not that long to do. Now normally I would go underneath the eye with a bright color and kind of blur it out, but I like this kind of clean look, and to me this is kind of pinup, and it's got a little vintage vibe to it with a little extra, so we could call it modern pinup maybe. And then I'm gonna go in with mascara. I got interrupted, the postman rang. And I'm gonna just clean off any powder or foundation from spraying that may have gotten on, or just, you know, extra. I like to do my bottoms, and I curve the lash in to do them. And then it also just kind of pops open your eye. So I'm gonna go in and just line over the lips slightly with the magenta pencil, just because it'll kind of match my magenta eyes that I've got going on right now. And then I like to just kind of do the corners a little bit and fill it in. I'm gonna do an ombre lip. I love to create dimension and depth and use different shadows and lights, light and dark, and I do it on the eyes, I do it on the lips, and I did it on the cheeks. So now I'm going to do 3 colors on the lips. I'm going to use the Besame, I believe it's Besame, it's like a purpley violet color or magenta. But the first coat is a long wear, and that is by Wet n Wild. I believe it's Catsuit by Wet n Wild, and that's like, they'll run you $5. And then I always have a concealer brush close at hand to clean up the corners. So I give that a second to dry and just fix that liner. I like to go a little over the lips, but not too much, and then I'm really careful. I have more trouble with the bottom lip than I would say the top. The top I find super easy, and I kind of round out the corners on the top so it's a bit rounder. And you just have to look at your face shape to kind of decide, oh, sorry guys, I'm just in the way. And then I'm gonna clean up the concealer around the bottom, or I'm actually clean up the lipstick. I like to have it perfect. especially when you're doing these bright colors. So now I've got 2 colors on and I've got the liner just to kind of blend in, make those lips perfect. And then my last touch, I'm gonna go in with a lighter color, and that's gonna create that kind of beautiful 3D effect, and it's great for film and camera, and it's great for just every day. I mean, 3 products might be a lot for some people, but I find it super easy, and then I just leave it and I carry 1. And it'll either be the gloss or sometimes I want the lipstick. I just mix it up. You can never clean up those corners enough. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with this beautiful Dollbeauty lip gloss. It's a pink. I'm going to list all the names below, but you see how it just kind of adds a really light touch, and then you blend it and then just kind of fan it out. You don't want the whole lip whitened or lightened. You want it just blending with the other colors, so you get those like stages of light and dark, and especially in the center you want the light color. And then I'm going to go in and just kind of blend it with the brush. I always have those concealer brushes hanging around. If you want me to do a video on the brushes and how I buy them from Michaels, because I've talked about how I use a lot of brushes from them, the craft store, then let me know. They're great quality. Hi guys, so today I am going to show you how I do a really quick, easy updo. It's like one of my vintage updos where it's great for, it's better than a dun bun, and it just kind of allows you to pull your hair up and wear all your cute outfits without worrying. It's a super simple, classy hairdo where it's just like a top bun, but I'm using a sponge with it. So I just ran some Treseme's Keratin Smoothing Serum through my hair, and I'm just gonna put a little extra, work that through, and then I'm gonna take a comb. I have an elastic around my wrist. I just find it easier to do that. I'm gonna comb up the sides really good and the back. I always seem to leave the back out. And I'm just going around and just smoothing it out. And then I'm gonna put, let me just grab the front too, because you want that to be nice and even. All right, bangs are a little crooked, but that's all right. So I'm going to the top of my head with this, and I'm just grabbing the elastic. See how handy it is to have it right there? Making a nice tight ponytail. Smoothing that out. So this is the sponge I'm gonna use, and it has a drawstring on the end, so you can see how it just curls it in, which helps. Makes things easier than a regular sponge. And it's got a snap, so when I get to the circular part I can just snap it and then pull it so it's nice and tight, and then I just tuck this and hide it away, pin it down, and that helps hold my sponge updo. I have a lot of hair, but even if you don't have a lot of hair, it just makes it really easy because it's just like one pull, and you'll see that. And so I'm gonna start, sometimes I put an elastic right here and then I just roll it. I find it really easy. Shall I do that for you guys? If I can find my tiny elastics. I've got everything in here. All right, let's see. Okay, so I ended up using a chunky hair tie, but it works and no one's gonna see it. So, and it just helps pull the hair together. I also have a lot of layers, so I'm just gonna wrap around that, catch any loose hairs. I'm going forward with it so that it makes a nice clean. I'm twisting it to find the little snap piece. There we go. And then I'm pulling it to the back, snapping. Ooh, where did I leave my string? There it is, right on top. And I'm pulling it. And I'm going to tuck that back in. I'm going to push the hair around. It's a nice high bun. So even though it's going to hold it, because I have thicker hair, I want to, here I got to duck down a little bit. I want to just put some pins in and cover this back piece. So I'm going to just gently pull the hair like that. And then I just put 1 or 2 pins in between the sponge and the hair and the base of the hair, if that makes sense. You can use those larger hairpins if you want, the ones that are wider, but I'm using the small ones because that's what I have. And then I'm just making sure that hair is evenly around it, and I'm just pushing it in. And if you're not good at doing the hairpins, you know you can always add a hair flower in there. So I'm going to do one in the top from the sponge right to the base, just to kind of pull it down a little bit. And you can take a comb and just kind of, if you have any puckering parts, and you can even just take your hairpin and just push down any, like, because the ends have a snap on it, it may stick out. It just takes a little practice, but nobody can really tell. And then I'm going to do the sides because they're just so perfect. I'm like, it's too good to be true. You can see the back. See, that took a couple minutes, and then I'm going to put one on the other side. So I'm just putting it at the sponge and the base of the hair and just pushing it in. Just giving a nice squeeze. Everything's even. I'm going to do a little bit more of this serum. Do the back. And just make sure we've got the bang, all the bang. You can even pull down a little hair if you want. We'll do it just for this video. Normally I just leave it all tied up, but you can have a little fringe if that's what you need. And then I just took this curling iron again, and I'm just gonna reflatten these just because it pulled the hair around. And then also this side is all wonky. And then just take one of these flat tail combs. You can buy them in a pack of, I don't know, 20 at Sally's for like a couple bucks. I keep them on hand. And then I just pop that up so they aren't separated. The beauty of curly hair. So yeah, I just kind of pop them up if they're not perfect. Don't stress about it. There you go. Okay, we're almost done. Alright, I love this powder. Just underneath the eyes. It's so smooth, it feels like silk. It's by NARS. And that's all I do. Oh, sometimes in here. Okay. Alright, and I'm gonna do a little MAC spray. It doesn't wreck the airbrush. It's just a light mist. I mean, this really does nothing but hydrate. It's just a nice little touch for yourself. I just like that. And speaking of more touches, I got this new vintage brooch. It's a Wes. I love that brand. And they started in the 1940s and closed in the 70s. And I feel like they're an affordable, collectible, vintage item. And you can get beautiful, beautiful brooches. Sorry, I have that on my t-shirt today. But then the earrings. And when I purchase, I'm going to do a whole video on my vintage jewelry, but when I purchase, I always Clorox wipe. These ones were like brand new. There's not even a scratch on it. So I'm going to take these earrings out. And if you notice when I airbrushed, I covered them because the airbrush will get on them. I forgot I had them in. And then I'm going to do these. You just pull your earlobe. I will do a whole video on how to wear vintage jewelry, how to collect it, clean it, what to look for, tips and tricks. But for now, that is my finishing touch for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had fun creating it. And there's two parts. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this together or if I'm going to do them separate, because I did a whole thing on Anastasia eyebrow kit, which is separate. And then I finished off the look with a hair and magenta makeup tutorial. Not loving these. Not loving those. It'd be cute if you curled it, but I like a clean look. So, more details. And you can always, I'm just gonna pin those up. Get rid of that hair. Done. Made it a little more secure. can always use your close-up mirror to double check everything. And yeah, so thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and click that bell for notifications, subscribe, you know, all that stuff to keep me going, keep me inspired. Anyway, have a great day. Okay, and one more tip. So if you've got a lot of poking out, or you're just not good at the pinning, or you're in a hurry, use these hair nets, and you can just put it on top, pull it just to kind of even the shape out. You can knot it and tuck it under, and even just pin it nice and tight like that. So let me get, as I go I put everything away. I hate a mess. Okay, anyway. Whoa, I've got this big container of pins. I just get those from Sally's. And then when I work, I get them in all different colors for all different hair types. And really there's only 3. Black, gold, and brown. Okay, I'm just gonna put that in there. Boom. And that just holds it all in case you're not great at pinning, or you've got a lot of layers, or your hair's super thin, or you're gonna go somewhere where it's really windy. These are fantastic. I'm sure you know that. If you do a lot of vintage styles, you probably know about these. Get them for $1 at Sally's. It's great. Anyway, excuse the t-shirt. I did not get dressed today. I'm doing laundry and I'm washing all my robes. But I got some fun stuff on today. Anyway, thanks guys.